Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, depending on what time you're watching this video. It's me, Teacher Kent, and today we're going to talk some more about living things and their environment, specifically, some new facts about what animals do to survive in their environment. But first, let's review. So I'm gonna share my screen. Did you remember this? The last video I made? Let me just make my picture a bit bigger. There you go. So you can see my face and let's start. Living things and the environment. First question. What is a habitat? Okay. What is a habitat? A habitat is the home of an organism. So that's where an organism lives. Now, your next question is, what is an organism? Remember, the first question is, what is habitat? And habitat, we found out it's the home of an organism. So what is an organism? Simply put, an organism is a living and breathing thing, like humans, cats, and dogs, and other animals. Next question is, what is adaptation? Again, what is adaptation? And adaptation are specialized structures and characteristics that organisms develop in order to survive an environment. And, and adaptation are specialized structures and characteristics that organisms develop in order to survive an environment. Like before we go to environment, let's just review. Like for example, a camel. A camel is an animal found in a hot desert. It cannot, it can live very long. It can live many days without drinking water because it has hump on its back. That is an example of adaptation. Next question is, what is an environment? What is an environment? An environment is a whole or in a particular geographic area. An environment is what we call the whole place. Like for example, you are going to school in Supalak School. Supalak School is in Supanburi. Supanburi is the environment. And Supalak School, if you live in Supalak School is your home or your habitat. We've already talked about this. That's the desert. And it's time to learn more facts. Some fun facts about animals and how they survive on different areas of the world. So let's go here. Fun facts about living things and their environment. Fun fact number one, wood frogs freeze their bodies. Oh, this one is an example of a frog, a wood frog. To survive the winter, up to 60% of Alaskan wood frog bodies freeze solid. They also stop breathing and their heart stops beating. And in spring, they thaw out and come back to life. To achieve this semi-frozen state, the creatures build up high concentrations of glucose, up to 10 times the normal amount, in their organs and tissues. The sugar solutes act as cryptoprotectants, preventing their cells from shrinking or dying. Now, Thailand has a dry winter, which means that you have no snow. Other parts of the world, other countries, they have snow in their winter. And animals, in order to survive snow, they go into a process called hibernation. It's when they it's when their body slows down to a point that they're sleeping almost every day up until the sun comes back. The animals evolve that way. Especially bears, bears they go into a cave and they hide there. But this one, the frog, the wood frog, it's also using hibernation. But in order to survive winter, their bodies become solid. It's like they're made up of ice. They stop breathing and their heart stops beating. If humans, we stop breathing or our hearts stop beating, we are dead. But this one, these wood frogs, they make their body stop freezing. They make their body stop breathing. And when they thaw out is when the ice from snow slowly melts, then their bodies will start to beat again. Dig, 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 dig. And they come back to life. To achieve this, they put a lot of glucose. Glucose is sugar. It's needed by their body, in their system, in their body, up to 10 times. If they need like 1 ounce of sugar or 1 gram of glucose, their body needs to store up to 10 grams of glucose in their organs and tissues. The sugar will act as cryptoprotectants. The sugar will protect the body of the wood frogs from dying. So that when they start to melt, they will be breathing again. That's amazing. Humans, we cannot do that. Fun fact number two, this is a kangaroo rat. Kangaroo rats survive without ever drinking water. Imagine that. Humans, we can only survive up to 3 days. 3 days without drinking any water. That's why we need to drink water every day. But these rats, these kangaroo rats, they can survive without ever drinking any water. Kangaroo rats have adapted to survive in the dry desert without ever taking a sip of water. Instead, they get all the moisture they need from the seeds that they eat. These critters also have incredible hearing and can jump up to 9 feet, which help them avoid predators. Now, it's not that they don't need moisture or water. They do. Every living thing on earth needs moisture or water. But what makes the kangaroo rats very special is when they eat the seeds of plants, yes, they get the moisture from those seeds. They act as drinking the moisture from seeds. And plant seeds are very, very low in moisture, but their bodies are so special that they can get the maximum amount of water from those seeds. As humans, we need to drink water almost, no, every day. Fun fact number three, Antarctic fish have antifreeze proteins in their blood. For those of you who don't know, antifreeze is found in countries that have snow, very cold weather. They need to put those on their cars so that the cars will not die because of the cold. It makes the cars a bit hot. Not too much hot, just a little bit, so that the cars will not die in countries like the United States or UK, United Kingdom. Five families of nototenoid fish make their own antifreeze proteins to survive in the frigid Southern Ocean. Encircling Antarctica, the proteins bind to ice crystals in their blood, preventing the fish from freezing. The adaptation that is so this adaptation that is so extraordinary that it helps explain why these fish make up 90% of the fish biomass of the region. Now, these are the fish found in Antarctica. Antarctica is the coldest place on Earth because it's at the pole of the Earth. It's where the light of the sun shines the most little. These fish have antifreeze protein in their blood. The thing that the cars need, they have it too, but they have it on their blood. The proteins bind to ice crystals in their blood, preventing the fish from freezing. It absorbs the ice crystals in their blood to prevent it from freezing. And these fish are very important because these are the fish that are eaten by penguins and polar bears. They go into the water and then they get these fish to feed. It's amazing. We humans, we don't have that. If we feel very cold, we wear a jacket so that we can stop freezing. Fun fact: African bullfrogs create mucus homes to survive the dry season. This ugly frog right here is what we call an African bullfrog. The African bullfrog lives in the savanna of Africa, where it gets very hot and dry. Oh, when a frog is out of the water, mucus on its skin helps it breathe by dissolving oxygen from the air. So, in order to prevent its skin from dying out in the hot African climate, the African bullfrog buries itself 6 to 8 inches underground. It then creates a mucous membrane, which hardens into a cocoon. The frogs can stay in this cocoon for up to 7 years while it waits for rain. When rain does arrive, the moisture softens the mucus sac, waking the frog and signaling the start of the rainy season, the time when the frogs breed and when it's most active. Okay, it's amazing because these are African bullfrogs. They're found in Africa. And sometimes in Africa, because of global warming, there is less and less rains even in the forest. So, in order to survive, these bullfrogs they make out like a liquid substance on their skin so that they can breathe even if they are not near the water. And when the substance covers all of their bodies, they can hide in it and it will serve as their house for up to 7 years. 7 years until they wait for rain. If there is no rain, then they wake up, then they go and find another place they can wait for rain. And if it rains, it's the signal of the start of the rainy season. And that's when the frog breeds or makes babies. That's amazing. We don't have mucus on our bodies as humans. Next, cuttlefish blend into their surrounding. This fish that looks like a rock or a coral is what we call a cuttlefish. Cuttlefish have the amazing ability to change their color and texture in order to blend to their surroundings. They can detect how much light is being absorbed into the environment, then use that information to mimic it with their own pigments. They have three skin layers: yellow, red, and brown, which can be stretched in different ways to make unique colors and patterns. Their skin also has papillae, which let cuttlefish appear rigid, like coral. Together, these features allow cuttlefish to escape predators as well as sneak up on unsuspecting prey. Now, these cuttlefish, they are so good at hiding from other fish that would like to eat them. that they make their skin hard and rigid. They also can copy other parts of the ocean so that they can hide there. It allows it to escape predators or to slowly move up on animals that they would like to eat. It's a pretty amazing. But some cuttlefish are dangerous. So when you go to the ocean, you be careful, okay? Let's go to the next fun fact. Oh, tube worms. Tube worms turn toxic water into food. Scientists long thought that life couldn't exist at hydrothermal vents deep in the ocean. But in 1977, they found giant tube worms living along the Galapagos Rift, 8,000 feet below the ocean's surface. These tube worms are surrounded by total darkness in their habitat, and they live in water filled with toxic gas and acid. These creatures have no stomach, gut, or eyes. Instead, they are bags of bacteria with heart like structures and reproductive organs. The bacteria inside the worms use the toxic hydrogen sulfide in water, which would kill most other animals, as an energy source to produce carbohydrates. These tube worms are found in the deepest parts of the ocean, the ones that have volcanoes underwater. Scientists thought that there are no animals that could live there because of the hotness of the volcano and the toxic things that go out of the volcano. But they found out that these tube worms, these animals, they live there. It's pretty amazing. Humans, we cannot go underwater for very long. We are land dwelling animals. Okapi have scented glands on their feet. Okapi are strange animals that look like a combination of a giraffe and a zebra. I see it. It's not very a long neck, but it's long enough, but it looks more like a giraffe. They live in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where it's very hot and predators such as leopards are always lurking. To stay alive, okapi have a three key adaptation. First, they have scent glands on their feet to mark their territory. Second, they have infrasonic calls, which allows them to communicate with their calves without predators hearing their call. Finally, they have 14-inch long tongues, which can be used to watch their eyes and ears. They have scent glands. Scent glands is the things that help us understand how an object smells. It's usually found in our nose. But the okapi, they have it on their feet so that when they touch the ground, they can scent, they can smell the ground. They know it's in their area, or if they know if there's an enemy in their area. And that's it. That's all for today. I hope you had fun. Goodbye.